gonna be nasty. I don't want to miss it. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't, because I know we go to Arkansas. That's gonna be Saturday, Sunday. Then if we go to Beaumont, that's gonna be what, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, probably. And then just whenever you finish the schedule, I just need it so I can write everything down in my notebook, so I can just plan my life. For a little while, play nines the same weekends as 12s, and I tell that nigga Coach Troy to come, and then we can coach the nines or whatever.
That's honestly why you're doing what you're doing right now, but
yeah,
it's because a lot of people don't have people speaking into their lives, bro.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has expectations. Now, your expectations could be negative, but everybody expects something.
All right, man. So first of all, just here at my old stomping grounds, Wiley College. I'm just grateful to be here. I got blessed with an opportunity to come speak to the baseball team. So it's like one of them things. My first one of 2024, and it's where I essentially, you know what I'm saying, a place that transformed my life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, this is a big honor. It's a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I just want to thank Coach Biggs for even allowing me to come to this historic campus. You know, right now, it wouldn't have been right if I wouldn't have did it on the Omega Shrine, you know what I'm saying? So we just here today, you know, just hoping to get these guys some good stuff. You know, this is Wiley College is in Marshall, Texas. It's probably one of the oldest HBCUs in the country. Wiley College was built in the early 1800s. It was built to teach in-house slaves, which means like the house slaves. It was used to teach them how to read and how to write and help them, you know what I'm saying, transform into what it is today. You know, when I was here, it was Wiley College. It's now essentially Wiley University. So congratulations to Wiley for stepping it up again. I'm super proud. And I'm just happy to be here, man. I just can't express my gratitude enough to be here, man. So I'm just ready to get it going. I hope everybody enjoy how this goes and how this plays out. Like I say, it's my first one of 2024. I'm gonna do a little something different this time. So I'm just praying that everything works itself out, man. First time at Wiley, bro. So this means something to me. I just want to thank Coach Sherman, man. He was a great asset for me graduating. I appreciate that. Funny story about Coach, man. I didn't know Coach. I was getting ready to graduate. I needed like 3 hours. I didn't know this man from a man on the moon. I just walked to his office like, hey, Coach. Well, you wasn't even coaching then. I was like, hey, Dr. Sherman, I'm in your class and I need to pass. Am I lying? I need an A. I ain't never seen it one day. Never. I wasn't even a criminal justice major, you know, but he made that happen for me. Coach Biggs, for those of y'all that don't know Coach Biggs sacrificed a lot to come to Wiley College. Coach Biggs, my first year was 2014. Then Coach Biggs was working for the electric company. He was an assistant here at Wiley, and the job opened up, so he took an opportunity, a major pay cut, I'm sure 50%, to come to Wiley. So that's huge too, man. That tells you that he loves the game and he loves everything that he's a part of, man. You guys are fortunate to have a staff and y'all are fortunate enough to be playing at a college program. I ain't gonna keep y'all alone today. I'm gonna just talk to y'all a little bit. Coach gave y'all a little rundown about who I am. I'm Devin Barnes. I'm from Vidalia, Louisiana, small town next to Mississippi. I'm a high school graduate of 2012. I just turned 30 last Saturday. Out of high school, I went to Arkansas Baptist College, which is located in Little Rock, Arkansas. I played my 2 years there, redshirted 1 year. I signed with Grambling originally, got hurt midway through the season, so I was done with baseball. When I say I was done with baseball, I was done with baseball. just so happened my older brother knew a guy, Coach Green, and Coach Green had just got the job here at Wiley College. He was an assistant, so I ended up coming here, finishing out my baseball career. And I'm gonna tell you, it was one of the best times of my life. Coming to Wiley College, I got the pledge of fraternity. Shout out to the bros. It was a culture shock for me because I had always went to private schools. I was always around white people. I'm gonna just be real. I was around white people. I mean, baseball, where I'm from, down south, it's a white man's game. So when I came to Wiley, it was a major culture shock to me. I had never been around that many black people my whole life, except at a family reunion once a year. So I go from, you know, being this guy to really not knowing who I am. So I had to come to Wiley and find me, you know. Just a little bit about my parents, man. My dad's a coach. My mom was a social worker. They raised me to just compete. You know, they just raised me to be a competitor. Every time I stepped out on the field to play, I gave 110%. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all every practice I went hard, but every time I stepped between the lines, it was over with, bro. It was over with, but it was a mentality. It was a mentality. The whole time I was at Wiley, we never made a conference tournament, not one time. We never made a conference tournament. We were in the Red River then, LSUS, LSUA, all the way to the lake. I mean, it was some dogs. But that was always our goal. The thing is, a lot of times, a lot of people don't set goals. A lot of people don't have aspirations to be great. You know what I'm saying? So, Coach giving y'all those, think about some things that really can make your team better. Don't think about think about team. Don't think about what you did. Think about what can I do to get my teammate better. Tell y'all a story. How many of y'all ever seen the movie Top Gun? Y'all seen the movie Top Gun? So it's this movie, Top Gun Maverick, with Tom Cruise. And it was about a bunch of F-18 pilots, right? It was a bunch of F-18 pilots. And they had a mission. They sent these guys out on a mission. And the mission was not an ordinary mission. So they called in some of the best pilots in the country. And Tom Cruise, he was the dog. He was Maverick, so he was the dog. So they sent these guys out on mock missions. Every day, they sent these guys out on mock missions. And there was two guys that stuck out. It was a guy named Hangman, and there was a guy named Gunner. Hangman was fast. Hangman could do all the flips. Hangman could do all the tricks. Hangman could do anything that you asked him to do. But it was one thing that Hangman didn't do. Every time Hangman came back, he never came back with his teammate. And they harped on how important not leaving your teammate is. You're in a war, you're in a battle with airplanes. So I need the person next to me. So then there was a guy named Gunner. Gunner wasn't as fast. Gunner couldn't do all the tricks that Hangman could do, but there was one thing about Gunner. Every time Gunner came back, he came back with his partner. That means if Gunner had to do push-ups, Gunner had to run, it didn't matter. He came back with his partner. So obviously they go out on a mission and they like, well, Maverick, who do you choose? So everybody looking around, they know for a fact he gonna choose Hangman. They like, shoot, I'm gonna choose Hangman. You know, Hangman, he the guy, he's 6'3", running 6'160", exit velo 120, like he that dude. Instead, he chose Gunner. He said, give me Gunner. Just because every time Gunner came back with his teammate. So they go out on a mission, and the mission is kind of like a 4x1 in track. If y'all ever ran track, you go out, you handle your mission, and then you take it into the plane, and then you take it into the base. So obviously Gunner was in front of Maverick. Gunner didn't hit his mission. He heading back. It come over the speaker. Maverick down. Maverick got hit. They telling Gunner, come on to the plane. Gunner spent that joint. No, sir. Gunner went back and saved him. So in the process of Gunner going back and saving him, Maverick's looking at him. Maverick's like, bro, what are you doing? You're going to get both of us killed. Maverick looked at him and said, bro, my daddy would have saved you. My daddy would have saved your life. Which in other words, that's just him saying he come from a lineage of people, and we forget how we were raised. We forget that dog that we got in us because an opportunity is just too much. There's no opportunity that's too much for you. If you think right now that the adversity that you're going to battle as a college baseball player, just wait till you finish playing college baseball. Just wait till you finish playing college baseball. Those are real problems when you got to provide for a family, when you got to provide for a kid. What you going to do one day when your son come to you and say, look, Daddy, how was your college career? You're going to tell him, hey, son, I quit. Because you got to be real with your kids. You got to be real with your kids. You have to. Because at the end of the day, excuse me, because at the end of the day, your kids are going to be a reflection of you. You're going to be a reflection. A lot of y'all sitting right here in this right here, you had nowhere else to go. You had no other opportunity. You had nobody knocking at your door to sign you. So why get the Wiley and piss the opportunity away? That's the number one thing that I see as a coach. I saw it as a player, and I'm going to continue to see it as guys get here, and then they get complacent. I started my baseball academy in 2018, which means in 2016, 2017, I had 2 different teaching jobs. I got fired from both of them. One job that I got fired from, I was at the worst performing school in the state of Louisiana. The worst performing school in the state of Louisiana. And I got fired from that job. So I called my brother up and I'm like, hey, bro, obviously this teacher shit ain't gonna make it. So he was like, hey, bro, let's do our baseball thing. So we started an academy. I remember like it's yesterday, July the 3rd, 2018, we had our first trial. We had our first trial ever for our organization. We had 1 kid show up. We were trying out from ages 7 to 14. We had 1 kid show up. Anybody else would have quit, bro. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Anybody else would have said, this ain't my dream. This ain't what I thought it was gonna be. This ain't what I imagined that this would be. No, sir. We stayed consistent. We got us a team, and now we got 10 teams, bro. In the span of 4 years, we've grown to 10 teams. That's just being consistent. That's trusting the process. A lot of times, man, God put us in situations just to see our faith, just to see how we test our faith, just to see how we align, just to see if we fully trust him. Because a lot of times we say, yeah, we trust God. Yeah, we trust him when shit going good. But when stuff go bad, it's like, why me? I lost my grandmama a few weeks ago. I could have easily said, dang, God, why? No, bro, my grandma would have wanted me to be a difference. That broke my heart, man. My grandma was 90 years old. My grandma had been here. She seen it all. She seen the first black president, and then she seen schools integrate. And I just want to tell y'all this. I'm going to land the plane with this. I'm going to be done after this. You guys are pretty young. A lot of y'all young. How many of y'all in here ever seen the movie Troy? A few of y'all, okay. So the movie Troy is basically guys fighting for land. The whole movie of Troy. And it's about a guy named Achilles. Everybody know who Achilles is. Achilles was that guy. Achilles could kill anybody, do anything. So they had a few battles to fight before they were done. So just imagine this battle being the battle right before the last battle. So it's like a conference championship before you go play a World Series championship. So anyway, so they get to the battle, and like the kings, they meet each other. And this time you can either say, hey, I want to go tribe versus tribe, or you can show up and say, I want to go warrior versus warrior. So with Achilles being so cold-blooded, you can already imagine they always go warrior versus warrior. So one day they had a battle, and for once somebody was on the same frequency that Achilles King was on. He was like, hey, I got one of the coldest warriors in the land. Y'all ain't got nobody who can do anything with him. He said, cool, that's how we fight. That's how we get down anyway. That's how we fight. He said, cool. So he screams out, Achilles. Nobody pops out. Nobody. He says his name again, Achilles. Nobody still popped out. One of the little guys, he come up to the king. He said, King, Achilles not even at the battle. He said, what do you mean? Go get him. So they go back to the village to get him. And Achilles, he sleep. He in the bed. So the guy wake him up. He goes, hey, man, the king got a battle for you to fight. He said, tell him I'll be there in the morning. He said, it is morning. Achilles say, cool. So he getting up, he get dressed. And as he's getting dressed, the little guy who came to get him is telling him about the guy he had to face. The guy he had to face, 6'4", ripped up, got the big baby oil, got the big traps, all that. And Achilles is just getting dressed. He's not saying a word. So Achilles, he hops up on his horse, and the little guy goes, Achilles, why don't you ever back down? Why don't you ever retreat? Why don't you ever settle? Why don't you ever tell the king, hey, look, king, I'm cool. We can go tribe versus tribe. He said, that's why nobody will ever remember your name. He said, that because your greatness and your excellence is predicated upon if I get an easy task. I'm going to be great and I'm going to give everything I got to it. Which means if my opponent is somebody I know I can beat, I'm going to be great. I'm going to have good energy. I'm going to be a good teammate that game. But what about the adversity? So anyway, Achilles, he gets on his horse, he goes, and he annihilates my man in like 15 seconds. And Achilles, he goes to the king. He tells the king, I'm done. I'm good. Like, I'm done. You done got your last fight out of me. I'm going home to my mother. So Achilles, he went to his mother. He at home. He training people how to fight and how to conquer. And they went and talked to his mom, and his mom said, okay, I'll go talk to him. So she goes and talks to him, and she goes, Achilles, and y'all catch this. She said, you can stay here. You can be great. You can have a family. You can have a great life. She said, but if you dare to be great, if you dare to reach limits that you've never been to, if you dare to go places you've never gone before, they will remember your legacy forever. So Achilles said, all right, mama, you're right. I'm going to go conquer. So Achilles, he's getting ready for the last battle, and it's just like anybody else who's great. You know, you're going to have people that hate on you. So guys come up to him once again. They like, Achilles, how come ain't nobody beat you yet? You ain't the biggest. You ain't the fastest. You ain't the strongest. You're not some big, imposing dude. I want y'all to catch this. Achilles said, I want what all other men want. Achilles said, when they line up and I line up, I want the same thing that the other men want. He said, when you line up and they one-on-one battles and I line up in my one-on-one battle, I want the same thing that the other men want. But he said, when the pain hit, when the adversity hit, when the cuts, when the scars, when the bruises come, I wanted just a little bit more than he wanted. So that's how I fight, and that's how I conquer, and that's how come nobody's ever beat me yet. I just want one thing from you guys, bro. As good as you are, as great as you are, as talented as you are, because everybody here is talented. 1% of high school athletes go play college baseball. 1%. 1% of high school athletes go play college sports, shall I say. So you're part of that 1%. So as good as you are, as great as you are, and as talented as you are, never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do. People don't burn out. People don't quit. People don't underachieve. People don't settle. People burn out. People quit. People underachieve, and people settle because life makes them forget why they do what they do. You may not always be your best, but you can always bring your best. And that's my time. I appreciate you guys, man. Nah, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Nah, but don't do that. I appreciate it, Coach. Yes, sir. Thank you. Nah, man.